Hello students, welcome to my channel Enlighten. In this today's video we'll discuss about the module 6 of investment management, that is efficient market theory. In class I already dealt with the basic concepts of efficient market theory. So first let's go on with the introduction. Here efficient market theory states that share price fluctuations are random and do not follow any regular pattern of fluctuations. That is, here whatever the stock prices are there, those are going to be in a random. That is, it is not more fluctuating or not more fluctuating. It's in a constant order, it's in a random fluctuation. And here the meanwhile technical analysts see, and on that basis they find variations on daily basis, weekly basis and monthly basis and half yearly or yearly basis. It is going to differ and it's not going to be same in these kind of variations. And here the basically in front of technical analysts and also in front of fundamental analysts, these questions will going to be arises. That is, the first question which is going to arise is does the intrinsic value of a stock have any meaning? That is, I already told the meaning of intrinsic value in class, right? So here whether it is having any meaningfulness in the stock market, that need to be analyzed. And the second question is it related to the stock price? That is, stock price, it is a daily variation, it is not going to be similar same for the day and for the next day. So that is what it is, also in a random fluctuation. In order to see these kind of fluctuations, this question need to be answered from the point of technical analysis and the fundamental analysis. And the last question they need to find the answer for it is how the security prices are determined. That is, in order to determine with the security prices, there are many more methods are there. So in among those methods which are relevant to this stock price fluctuations randomness, that need to be taken from the fundamental analysis and the technical analysis. And next some key aspects are an efficient capital market is a market that is efficient in processing information. That is, whatever the information it is processing, it need to be in a ordered manner. And next thing, it's about the market, it need to be quickly and correctly, it need to adjust to the new information. That is, if any new methods or the policies which is going to be made by the government, then it need to be adopted with a very easy manner and it need to be quick enough to adopt any changes which is going to be dealt from the government. And next key aspect, it's in an information of efficient market, the prices of securities observed at any time are based on the correct evaluation of all information available at that time. That is, whatever the information available, that need to be in a specified time. It need not to cross any border. And so therefore in an efficient market, prices are immediately and fully reflect available information. That is, whatever the information is available, it is going to be immediately affect in the efficient market theory. This is all about the introduction. And here I already did in class that basic concepts. Those basic concepts, the first is market efficiency, right? Market efficiency, which means nothing but the expectations of future investors regarding future cash flows are translated into or reflected in share prices. That is, in share prices, how the fluctuations are going to be that is what we are going to call as market efficiency. And in this market efficiency, there are two forms are there. The first one is operational efficiency. In this operational efficiency, basically it is going to be done to execute the order and the number of bad deliveries which are going to be made in the stock price fluctuations or the stock price trading. What are all the bad lots will come, no, that need to be analyzed in this operational efficiency. And second form in market efficiency is informational efficiency. That is informational efficiency, which is actually swiftness with which the markets reacts to new information. That is, whatever the new policies or the methods which are going to be given from the government, no, that need to be accepted by all the stock market brokers or all the stock market parties in a positive way, and they need to opt to all the changes which are going to be done. Okay, and here four main aspects will come. That is economic reports, and second thing, company analysis, political statements, notification of new industrial policies. Okay, so these kind of four informations are daily changing, or in between of a quarter it is going to change. So that's what, whatever the changes are comes in front of the stock market holders, they need to opt with the changes. Okay, this is about informational efficiency. And second, it need to be okay, it is showing as one itself. Second one, liquidity traders. That is liquidity, basically whatever the cash form it's there, no, it need to be converted into easy cash form. Okay, those kind of things we are going to call as liquidity. Here liquidity traders, which are known as these traders investments and resale of shares, which is actually depend upon their personal fortune. That is how they actually want, no, like that they can be make their investments. It is not compulsion that they need to do like this only. Okay, they have a certain norms, and based on that they are going to make an investment. Okay, and here basically liquidity traders they can sell their shares to pay their bills, whatever the bills generated, no, that amount they need to give as that can be given as the shares, in form of shares also the amount can be given to the stockholders. Okay, this is about liquidity traders. And the third one, it's about information traders. Here information traders base their buy or sell strategy on the proper analysis, and here information traders they estimate the intrinsic value of the shares. That is, in class itself I already did with this intrinsic value calculation also I have given you as notes. Okay, and last basic concept is arbitrage. Okay, basically arbitrage, which means nothing but the fluctuations which is going to occur as a higher manner. Okay, that is what we are going to call as arbitrage in narrow sense. When it comes to investment per view, it is going to differ, or it is near to same. Here the concept of arbitrage provides the basis for the efficient market hypothesis, and here the arbitrages absorb the potential access return opportunities in the market. And here this eliminates the possibility of earning an abnormal return. That is, whatever the excess return they can accrue above the normal profit, they cannot earn. If the investment or if the stock price is more arbitraging, then they cannot earn as much they want the profit as a super normal profit. Okay, so that is what arbitrage, it always need to be in a slow variation. It need not to have the fast variation. Okay, these are all the basic concepts which comes in efficient market theory, market efficiency, liquidity traders, information traders, and arbitrage. Okay, so next concept in your syllabus it's the random walk theory. Here the random walk hypothesis also I dealt in class itself, but still I'll do here. If the stock prices follow a random walk with or without a trend, then future stock prices cannot be predicted based on past stock prices. Here, if any random fluctuations are going to be happening in stock prices, that is with the trend analysis or without the trend analysis, then future stock prices cannot be determined. Okay, why? Because in a sense here stock prices are daily varies, okay, and daily fluctuations are going to be done. So here it is not possible to determine with the whatever the future stock prices which is going to be there. Okay, that is what in any kind of a investment the investor need to think about these kind of random fluctuations which are going to take place in the investment process. If the investor knows or if the investor well known about the investment concepts, then he can invest and he can earn with a more profit, or otherwise it is not possible. And here always new information is a surprised one. It is not going to be in a known factor to us, right? So when new information arrives, no, at that time accepting to that, it is a very challenging matter, but still stock prices will adjust with a immediately, that is by going with a higher price or by downing with the prices. That is best example for these kind of fluctuations here is gold itself, right? So because of this coronavirus pandemic disease, the gold price it's already reached near rupees 50,000, but before lockdown it was in a 30,000, 30 to 35,000 it was there, right? So these kind of fluctuations, the stock prices will adjust immediately, but the mentality of the investor, it is not going to be adjusted. Okay, so that is what only this theory which was developed by the three eminent personalities. Okay, and here random walk theory, it need to be understood by the every investor, then only they can predict the near future stock price, or otherwise it is not possible. So every investor need to understood with this random walk theory. Okay, here certain history or the developments which are from this random walk theory are: the random walk theory first developed by Louis Bachelier in 1900. He was a French mathematician, and he was suggested that security price fluctuations were random, that is it is daily varies, or it is not going to be remains constant for a over period of a time. It will be going to be fluctuate from one day to another, or from one quarter to another quarter, or from 1 year to another year. Okay, so this is what he was suggested in 1900. Okay, and next historian, he was Maurice Kendall. In 1953, he was basically British statistician Maurice Kendall, and he was reported that stock price series is a wandering one. Each change is independent of the previous one. That is, Louis Bachelier, he was just stated that security price fluctuations were random, right? but here he is going to add another word, that is independent change, which is going to be make a changes or which is have a impact on the previous factor which was introduced by the investor. Okay, that it was suggested by Maurice Kendall. And next historian, he was Eugene Fama, and well known as Fama itself. He was actually American economist Eugene Fama. In 1970, he was stated that the efficient market theory fully reflect the available information. Okay, it is fully reflect the available information. If markets are efficient, security prices reflect normal returns for their level of risk. Okay, in first Louis Bachelier, he was just stated as stock prices are random fluctuations, it will be going to be there. In second historian, that is Maurice Kendall, he was suggested that stock price series are wandering one, that is it is going to vary from one to another, and which will be have a impact of independent changes on the previous effects. Okay, but here Fama is given a complete picture to this theory, that is here he was suggested as the efficient markets. Okay, efficient markets in the sense the random fluctuations where the markets are less, that is those kind of markets we are going to call as efficient markets. And here efficient markets are going to be fully reflected to the available information which is going to be made. And next thing, it's about if markets are efficient, that is if the stock prices are not have that much of a random fluctuations, then security prices reflect normal returns for their level of risk. That is security prices whatever it's there, no, based on that they are going as an investor they are going to get with the returns, that is as a profit they are going to return at whatever the percentage of level of risk they have taken. If 10% of a risk they have taken, then 10% above profit they are going to get. If 20% of risk they are taken, then they are going to get up with a 20% above profit. Okay, likewise if they have taken complete risk, 100% of a risk they have taken, then 100% profit they are going to take, and that is what we are going to call as supernormal profits or super profits. Okay, that is what which was suggested by Eugene Fama. And here again Fama suggested that the efficient market hypothesis can be divided into three categories basically. First one is weak form, and second one semi-strong form, third one strong form, which is going to be explained through one diagram. Here the level of information is considered in the market is the basis for this segregation represented in figure as follows. Here the third layer or the outer layer is a strongly efficient market, and the second layer is a semi-strong market, and the inner layer it's there, no, that is a weakly efficient market. Okay, and here just I have given the meanings and certain questions. Here efficient market hypothesis is there, no, in your syllabus. That is the question that arises, do security prices reflects information? Yes, it of course reflects. That is an efficient capital market is one in which security prices adjust immediately to the rapidly arrival of a new information, and therefore the current prices of securities reflect all the relevant informations. Okay, that is what in basic concepts also the same kind of a example which I have given, right? So here efficient market hypothesis, the theory is whatever the information it need to be, that is new information it comes to, that is whatever the suggestions provided from the government, it need to be opted from the as an investor in the stockbroking firm. Okay, and why look at market efficiency, why we need to learn this market efficiency chapter, right? The question it will arises. So the first answer for this is implications for business and corporate finance. Here how the implications are going to be done on business. Okay, business in the sense that is on different kinds of businesses are going to make an investment, right? That is Infosys is also have a share, and MRF also is have a share. Okay, they are also invested in the stock market, right? And next thing is about relating to corporate finance. Finance is the lifeblood of every organization, and without money we can't sustain in this rapidly widespreading world, right? So that's what in order to know about these kind of various issues, we need to learn about this market efficiency and implications for investment, right? That is whatever the new changes which is going to be made from the government, it need to be opted from the stock market as very much quickly. If changes have been adopted and it is going to run, then that market we can call it as the efficient market, or otherwise we cannot call that kind of a market as efficient market. We are going to call it as weakly efficient market. Okay, in this kind of a weakly efficient market, the normal profits also they are not possible to get, just relevant profit they are going to get. Okay, and here also the same thing, that is why efficient market hypothesis, that is to test the form of market, that is extent of efficiency, that is how much of a efficiency level it's having. So in order in order to answer these kind of things itself, 3 layers diagram I have shown to you, right? To test the form of market, that is extent of efficiency. And second thing, it's about to make sure that one can accurately forecast the market, discover the market trend, and help investors to make critical decisions. That is, if the market is efficient, then mere future stock prices can be determined by the stock market owners very easily, or otherwise it is not possible to determine. Okay, so that is what it is very much required one, to make sure that one can accurately forecast the market and discover the market trend and help investors to make critical decisions. Okay, and here the most important consequences of this hypothesis is, that is it is not possible to outperform the market over the long term. Okay, which means nothing but one consequences arises that outperform the market in the sense, as the whatever the risk level it is going to come, no, for those are all the levels of risk, it is not possible to take from the investor, because in certain problems also the same kind of a risk level they are going to prescribe, right? 10% of level risk, 5% level of risk, or 2% level of risk, and market risk will be 5%. Like this they are going to give, no? Beyond to this risk percentage, they are not possible to take the risk in certain kind of a market hypothesis theories. Okay, and here in the semi-strong form and in weakly efficient market form, it is not possible to cross these kind of a level of risk percentage, whatever it is going to be assigned by the market or the stock market. Okay, here over the long term, that is in a long term, if it is a long term also, they are not going to take up with the highest risk. They need to take up with the whatever the risk percentage which is going to be prescribed from the stock market. Okay, so next I have just given the market reaction to an unanticipated favorable event. Okay, that is how the market is going to make reaction for the unanticipated, that is corona. It is a purely unanticipated one. These kind of a disease will come in our world, no one are predicted, right? So this is a one unanticipated favorable event. It is not favorable actually, but still one, because of this corona, some of them have taken up with the positive advantages also, and some of them they have taken up with the bad advantages also. We cannot determine those kind of things, and it is not part of us also. Okay, just it is corona, or otherwise any events. Just in our India, it is well known for the festives, right? So like any kind of a festives it's going to come, then the demand for the gold, it is going to be increases. Okay, so here in the first diagram, it is a efficient market. Okay, at whatever the event time it may be, the market will be efficient one, and the stock prices will be remains same. That is line it is same. It is not fluctuated, or it is not have any fluctuations like high down. It is not like that in the first image. Okay, whereas in the second image, it is going to be called as the inefficient market diagram, and here the starting price it is remains same, but when it is going to arises with the prices, then it is going to increase and suddenly fall down, and again increases and suddenly fall down. Okay, if it is like that is high and down, then it is going to call as the inefficient market. Okay, and here market reaction to anticipated favorable event. If it is a event, okay, or any celebrations, okay, for that kind of market event, how the efficient market diagram and inefficient market diagram will be there. Okay, so here see, in the first diagram, efficient market prices are reached one peak point, and after that it is remains same. That is the same one stagnant line, it's there, remains same. Okay, whereas in the second diagram, it is not going to be same. It is going to fluctuate. That is it is shown as higher mark, and after that it is going to be in a down mark. Okay, like this it is going to be fluctuates. Here anticipated favorable event, I can give you the best example as gold itself. And when it comes to marriage functions, the gold purchases is going to be high, and if the stock price fluctuations are random, then inefficient market will come. If the stock prices fluctuations are not random, then efficient market theory is going to be there. Okay, and here just have given with the relation of three forms of efficient market hypothesis. That is strong efficient market. It is all going to dealt with all public and the private informations of the company it is going to be dealt. And in the semi strong information, only public information are going to be dealt. Okay. And in the weak form of market, the past market informations are going to be dealt. It is very much important to understand. Okay. So next I have just made a distinction also with the definition and example among these three forms of market efficiency. Here form 1 is weak form. Here the financial asset prices incorporate all historical information into current prices. Future stock prices cannot be predicted based on an analysis of past stock prices. Okay, here basically in a weak form, all the financial asset prices of the incorporate of all historical informations are converted into current prices, and the future stock prices here it is not possible to predicted by the analysts, and based on the past stock prices it is not possible to determine with the future prices. Okay, this is what we are going to call as weak form of market efficiency. Okay, and example for it is nothing of value is to be gained by analyzing past stock price changes, right? Here whatever the stock price it may be, the past with the past stock price it is not possible to value any kind of information or any kind of a future stock price. Okay, and since this is doesn't help you to predict with the price changes, right? This weak form, so here the renders will be that is the technical analysis is useless in this kind of a weak form. Okay, I'll discuss it later. The technical analysis means what, I'll discuss it in later. And the next thing it's about the semi strong form. Okay, when it comes to semi strong forms, the stock prices incorporates all publicly available information that is based on the historical and the current. Okay, there will not be a delayed response to information disclosures. Okay, here in this semi strong form, all the stock prices which are publicly available, those kind of informations are available in the price of historical and as well as in the form of current prices. Okay, and here no delay, whatever the new information it is going to be given from the government, it will be going to be adopted as soon as possible, and from that they are going to disclose the information very quickly. Okay, whereas in case of weak form it is not so, because here in weak form only the historical prices are going to be determined, and it will be after that it will be going to converted into current price. But in semi strong form it is already been converted into historical and the current prices. Okay, and example for it is the relevant information in an SEC filing will be incorporated into stock price as soon as filing is made public. That is SEC means Securities Exchange contract, it's there now. That is whatever the stock prices it is filled by the investor, it is going to be made as a public. Okay, they are not going to hide the information, they are going to disclose it to the public. This is what the semi strong form. Okay, and next form of market efficiency is last one, it is a strong form of market efficiency. Here the stock prices incorporates all information that is as private and as well as public prices will react as soon as new information is generated, rather than as soon as it is publicly disclosed. Okay, here whatever the stock prices which is going to be quoted by the investor, he may be the private investor or he may be the public investor. There is no any distinction in it. Okay, those kind of informations are disclosed to the public very soon. And here whatever the new information is generated, no, that is going to be accepted by the stock market as soon as possible. Okay, here there is no question of delay. Okay, this is what the strong form of market efficiency. And example for it is the stock prices will react to a dividend increase as soon as the firm's board of directors votes and before the board announces its decision publicly. Right, that is in a company, stock prices of dividend, it is going to be increases. Okay, then the information which is actually been first disclosed by the board of directors by taking with certain votes, if the votes came as 3/4, then the board of directors only announces the decision policy of the dividend policy. Okay, so this is what the three forms of market efficiency. Okay, and next just I have given with as individually EMH, that is weak form of efficiency. Stock prices reflect all past market price and volume information, that is here in weak form only the past market information only are going to be dealt, and it is impossible to make abnormal risk adjusted returns by using past prices or volume data to predict future stock prices. Okay, it is not so easy to determine with a abnormal risk which is going to be adjusted to the returns by using with the past prices. See here actually the stock price in 2019 in 2018 it is 50 rupees per share. Okay, in 2019 it was 48 rupees. Okay, so based on these 2 years data, I am a technical analyst, or in this technical analysis is useless. As a fundamental analyst, I can which price I can quote for this, right? So in 2018 stock price was 50 rupees per share, and in 2019 it was 48 rupees. Okay, so in this kind of a situation it is much difficult to predict with the future stock prices. Okay, in 2020 it may be 42 rupees. Okay, and in 2021 what will be the price we cannot determine, right? So and in 2020 also I cannot fix the price based on the data which was recorded in 2018 and 2019, because 2018 and 2019 there is a lot of changes are going to be done from the government. So that is what it is not possible to determine with the predicting of future stock prices in case of this weak form of a market efficiency. And in this weak form of efficient market theory, more fluctuations will be there. Okay, so that is what it is not possible to determine with the future stock prices as quickly. Okay, in image you can see this, that is how much variations are there in the stock prices, right? That is in 2018 first year data and first diagram, and 2019 second year diagram. Okay, so how the differentiation or how the fluctuations are there, right? So it is not possible. And if a market is weak form of efficient, then technical analysis should not be effective in picking stocks for above average profits. Okay, that is what I have suggested you. that is fundamental analysis is best in case of this weak form of efficient market theory. It's there available in the market. Okay, and here despite the evidence for market efficiency, there are many professional investors who claim that technical analysis can be effective for this weak form of efficiency, but such claims are largely unproven, and but it shows that not everyone accepts the efficient market hypothesis. Okay, here most of them were opposed that here also technical analysis can be used, like that many of them told, but still it is what the claims have been posted from those kind of a personalities, it was actually not accepted by the stock market because it is basically unproven one. Okay, here the only the past informations are going to be considered, and here it is not possible to determine with the future stock prices, then how it can be used with a technical analysis? In a technical analysis, many of the aspects which are going to be covered. Okay, so that is what, for these kind of a weak form of efficient market, only the fundamental analysis can be used. Okay, and next is semi-strong form. Here the stock prices reflect all publicly available information about a firm. Okay, and it is impossible to make abnormal risk adjusted returns by analyzing any public information to predict future stock prices. Okay, here all the publicly available information are going to be considered, and all the information are going to be disclosed to the public, but still also the whatever the public information is available, no, based on that also the mere determining with a future stock price, it is not possible in this case also. Okay, and here how the variations will be there in semi-strong form. That is the first diagram, it is going to be shown as a dividend decrease. Okay, dividend actually in a higher manner in starting point, and after that it is started to declining. Okay, and lastly it reached to the full declining stage, and next again it is up, and again it's down, and again it's up and down. Okay, here the percentage of dividend decrease is in a random fluctuations. Okay, and in second image it is going to show up with a dividend increase. Okay, from negative effects to negative price fluctuations to it is purely reached to the peak point of the market. Okay, and there also certain fluctuations are there, that is up and down are there. Okay, here in this dividend increase, the days relative to the announcement date of dividends, it is going to be analyzed. Okay, here variations are there, that is in case of dividend decrease, all the information it is publicly available. What the dividend decrease, no, it is also disclosed to the public, and what the dividend increase, no, that is also disclosed to the public, like this. And here also, if a market is a semi-strong efficient, then picking stocks based on publicly available information should not yield profits greater than what could be obtained using a simple buy and hold strategy. Okay, by this also it is not possible to determine with a high yield profits. Okay, here buy and hold strategy it is going to be work out. Okay, that is that is when the market is high, okay, market price are high, at that time they need to sell as an investor. When the stock price are less, at that time they need to make a buy of stock prices. Okay, when stock prices are higher, okay, at that situation they need not to buy. Okay, when the stock prices are less, at that situation they need to hold the stocks in their hand. Okay, in this semi strong form, the greater advantage of this is this one. Okay, at the time of decrease in prices, they need to hold the stocks, and at the time of lesser price they need to buy the stocks, and at the higher stock prices they need to sold their stocks. Okay, this is what the first paragraph says. And next is evidence of efficient markets has given great impetus to the formation of index funds. That is in indexing, it's there, no, that is indexing of future market, indexing of these kind of things. It is also possible in case of this. And for investors wanting to minimize research costs and trading costs while investing in a mutual fund that closely tracks a given market index. Here whatever the market it is closely related, no, in mutual fund it can be analyzed very easily. Okay, this is what the semi strong form of market efficiency. And next is strong form of efficient market theory. Here stock prices reflected all the information that is public and private including about a firm, and it is impossible to make abnormal risk adjusted returns by analyzing publicly available information or trader based on private or inside information. Okay, here what the disadvantage of this strong form of market efficiency is, in this kind of a market efficiency, in order to make a proof of a market is efficient, certain insider tradings are going to be happens. That is insider tradings which are nothing but the white collar crimes. Okay, white collar crimes are going to be increases in case of this strong form of market efficiency. And here all the stock prices will be in a higher manner only. It's not showing with the less or the downwards, it shows always with the upwards. And if any fluctuations came or if any sudden change came, it will going to be in a certain downwards it is going to face, but after that it is again reaches to the upwards. Okay, and here I have given one diagram that is relating to the performance of average equity mutual funds. Here when it comes to the mutual funds stock prices, it is in a upward manner only from 1972 from 1997, it's in a upper manner only. Okay, that is what only I told you, no. That is owners what they are going to do, in a sense, in order to show their market as efficient, certain insider tradings they are going to make, that is certain misconducts they are going to conduct in their organization, and by that they are going to show their company as good one. Okay, so this is all about the three forms of market efficiency. Okay, if you have any doubts in it, then message me in group, I will clarify your doubts. Okay, so in next video I am going to post up with the technical analysis and fundamental analysis. Okay, and a certain insider trading information I am going to give. Hmm? And all, and after that I am going to sum up this model. Okay, if you have any doubts, no, you just ask me. I am going to, and I am ready to clarify any doubts which you having. Okay, and after this I am going to conduct up with a Zoom session also for doubts. Okay, in for if I am going to make meeting for you, then you need to join before the time itself. Before 10 minutes only you stay there. Okay, then it is easy for me to further proceeding, otherwise it is not possible. Okay, so hereby I'll stop now. Okay, so in next class I will deal with the technical analysts and fundamental analysts. Okay, thank you. And yeah, do subscribe for my channel if you like, and like my video also. Okay, thank you so much.